How do you generate mortgage leads without paying for ads? That's the golden question that everybody wants to know. People are drawn to ads all the time, Facebook ads, Google ads. It's like this treasure trove of untapped leads, especially people marketing it and funnels and all these crazy things. But the truth actually can be very, very different. You can spend a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of stress on trying to get this to work, and it nearly always doesn't. Also, not to mention, the time you're spending on those ads could be time spent on actually doing the stuff that is going to work, which is some of the stuff I'm going to unpack in this video. So this video is going to focus really on all the things you can do to try and get leads without ever having to spend a penny on those pesky ads. Now, my name is Borland. I am a business coach for mortgage brokers, and I help them simplify success and get real results. And hopefully I'll be able to do the same for you today. Let's dive into it. So the first thing is understanding the 3 types of organic leads. So organic leads come from 3 main things. You have referral leads, and these are people who've been referred from past clients. The way that I define referral is direct lineage, meaning that the client has to have the client who has referred you has to have worked with you. So if someone's coming to you, this lead, it has to come from someone who's actually transacted business with you. If it hasn't, then it's the different type of lead, and we'll talk about that in a second. The second type of lead you have is brand leads. So these are people who follow your content, they've watched you, they know, like, and trust you, and they've built what is known as a parasocial relationship. So they have a relationship with you, but it's one way. You don't know them, but they know you. And when they come to you, you'll know this will work because they'll say, I've been following you for years. That's kind of how it's the sign that it's been working. These leads are great. They have a high level of trust. And when they come to you, you're their only choice. And then the third one you have is demand leads. Now, demand leads, these come from people who are in the market for a mortgage right now. They might be searching for mortgage brokers and they only want demand, okay? And the problem is most mortgage brokers, they only need a mortgage now and they don't really know you. And so because of that, they are the highest intent, but the lowest kind of trust. And they can be very, very hard. The big mistake mortgage brokers make, though, is they constantly try to chase after these leads. And these actually are leads that they are good, but these are what people say hot leads. And these are going to always end up being introducers. They're going to be buying leads. They're going to be maybe running ads. And that is part of the mistake sometimes within demand leads, is that everybody's focusing on those. These are about 5% of the market. 95% of that market are going to be these people who are not quite ready, that you can nurture and grow. And you're going to make a much bigger impact over a longer period of time if you spend time doing that. So organic leads is all about planting those seeds for the long term. Now, the second thing to understand when it comes to generating leads without paying ads is you need to build authority, like I said, not just attention. So how do you do this? Well, what actually happens a lot of the time, and brokers, I've had many brokers come to me with this, is they come and they say, look, Ash, I want to try and generate leads. What they don't realize is they need to be building their authority as an advisor that someone trusts. It can't just be pitch, 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 pitch. You cannot use it as a constant kind of like, work with me because I'm the guy that you should be working with. You need to show them that you're good, okay? You need to build this authority. So you do this in a number of ways. The first one is you can use daily short form videos. So think Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, TikToks. These are great to build out authority. They're a great way to show that you know what you're doing. 1 minute video, awesome. Stick to daily on this. 7 days a week is ideal. 5 days is acceptable. Anything less than that, don't do it. You then want to look at mixing in some long form trust building content. So this is going to be YouTubes, it could be podcasts, it could be long form blogs or articles, depending on the platforms you're on. But it's getting up and building these longer trust nurture pieces of content. It's going to allow people to see that you really do know what you're talking about. And then the other one is sharing case studies. Okay, so case studies and results, which is social proof. That's showing that you're actually good at the job and that people also like you. Now, building all of these things together and is going to build a significant amount of authority, not just attention. As I said before, attention is just look at me, look at me, look at me. But we need to show that not only can you talk the talk, but you actually do walk the walk and that other people like you for it. Very, very important. Which brings me to the third point, which is use a clear call to action system. So the first one with this is make it very clear where they should go. I don't like when people say, just DM me or call me or text me. Send them to a calendar booking link, okay? Calendar booking links are very, very, very important. One clear call to action is incredible. This Calendly is great. Go High Level is great. I use that with my clients, but all of them is useful to have. You need to make sure that they're all pointing to one place. And as I said, a booking link is going to be the easiest one. If someone DMs you, you send them to a booking link. Either way, it's still, you keep it there. And why is that important? Well, because everything goes through and you can track all leads if they go through that. Now, one of the extra things you can do within booking links that I really like is you can actually add what we call routing questions or filters, so they filter out time wasters. So you're able to go, look, if someone's not got a deposit, you can actually reroute them so they don't actually work with you. They don't need to work with you. You know, it's like, it's one of those like, oh, sorry. And they go back to more content and you build a relationship. So add routing and filtering questions. Be sparing with these. Obviously, bring them in as time goes on. Just go, okay, I don't really want to speak to that person anymore, so I don't need to. Root them out, but don't, you don't have to do them hardcore, but that's something to definitely think about. And then the third part within this is creating a landing page or a lead magnet for nurturing people with a clear path to take action. Okay, so if they are, and I love this bit with this clear call to action system, is if there are two main things you need to be thinking about. First one is, if they're ready to go ahead, they should book a call with you. If they're not ready to go ahead, they should book in a lead magnet. They are the only two things that I think are really measurable. Follows, likes, shares, comments, all of those things, irrelevant. What are the two ones? Are they booking in to speak to you, which is that they need a mortgage now, or are they booking onto a lead magnet, which means that they are not quite ready yet, but they're now in your nurture sequence, your email marketing sequence. This is the two main things. Make sure you have them. So you need a landing page with a lead magnet for nurture, and then also a booking link that people can go to. The fourth point we have is stay consistent, even when it feels pointless. There are so many times, by the way, quick story on this one, I feel this all the time. There are many times where I feel like I'm just a guy sat in a shed talking to myself. And I know that's not the case, but it's got a successful business and we've done very, very well. But there are days where it feels like that. There are weeks and months sometimes where it feels like that. And so that is important though, to still rock up and still do the job. Even if I'm speaking to like 25 people a week, I can still feel like that. That's just nature. So you have to remember with this, and I know as myself, I will make content and it might feel like no one's looking, but organic leads don't show up in 3 days. They show up in a long time. You want to be thinking in 90-day cycles. This is how I work. I think in constant 90 days, 90 days, 6 months, not 9 minutes of dopamine hits, which is the Instagram kind of stuff and the TikTok stuff of like, oh, I just got all these big views. No. We don't work that way. Don't think that way. You want to think long term. Long term is going to be the thing that's going to help you, okay? And the best way for this is simplicity. Simplify success is the mantra I would have tattooed across my forehead if I could, and you need to do that with your marketing. Have a simple system to plan and post content. That's going to be the one to stick to. Trust is built in the quiet times, okay? And you have to build trust before you actually ever get inquiries, but you need to make it simple. If you know, I've got, for example, the next year's worth of content for this YouTube channel already planned. Everything is planned. I know exactly what I'm saying, it's all done. Like, of course, the content within the meat of it might change, but the consistency of what I'm saying in regards to the topics are the same. This one today has been planned. Have that out there. Use a simple system to plan it and to post it. Don't get too caught up with it. The fifth point is nurture the pipeline you already have. So a big, big one, people don't do this. So nurture the pipeline you already have. Email your existing list weekly. We talk about this with the email lists and the lead magnets and the email nurture. Your emailing client list is vital because you're constantly being able to re-engage with people who've already chosen to work with you or like your stuff. That's massive. You should be email marketing. Biggest mistake I ever made. I've done this for coming up to 7 years. I did not build a mailing list out until about 3 years ago. Biggest mistake I ever made. That and not really taking YouTube seriously for a long time. Two big mistakes. So those are huge. So what would I recommend with this? Well, build that up and then build up that list, start emailing to it. The other thing we have here is follow up with past clients, not just at Remortgage. Annual reviews are so important. I deal with this within the Mortgage Business Mastery system that we work on. We talk about this a lot. Build out a constant system that is over and over again, that it is like, that you can repeat every single time when it comes to annual reviews. So you speak to them every single year. Now, but guess what? That doesn't have to be like you're in an in-depth conversation in a call. It can be something very simple. For example, with ours, it's literally just a voice note and an image. We send them an image and we send them a voice note. It takes the client, my client, like 2 minutes, and it takes that client a couple of minutes to go, okay, Ash or John or whoever it may be, they still remember me and they like me. That's so important. We want to keep that going. If we don't keep that conversation going, then they will potentially leave and go somewhere else. We don't want that, okay? And then the other one is create value-driven content that answers questions you hear daily. And so now the thing with this is, by creating content, by default, you're actually nurturing people who already work with you because they now follow you. If they follow you on Instagram, follow you on Facebook, follow on YouTube, wherever, they are now being constantly remarketed again to your stuff, which means that they become more likely to refer and to trust you and to share you to other people because they're constantly remembering you. They're not going to go somewhere else in 2 to 5 years' time if you are consistent making content for 2 to 5 years. But if you stop, they might go to someone else. So content is not just about generating new leads, it's also about nurturing existing clients to come back to you. Very, very, very important. And this is something that I want to leave you with is you don't need new leads. You just need better systems for the ones who are already watching. This is hugely successful when it comes to sales, marketing, all of it. We look at this a lot in the content when I work with my clients is how do we maximize what we already have and not constantly try to just get new people in. It's not as difficult as it looks. Now, if you want to learn how you can improve your lead generation, check out this deep dive video on screen here, which is my authority formula, which is a keynote I did. I think you're going to love it. Give it a click.